Well, I'm certainly glad you bumped it up a little bit because it was a whole lot easier to hear you. And oh, you're over on Taft Hill. Yeah, I know where it is. We have well, my parents lived there. Gosh, I don't know how many years. They were off of Scarborough Drive, just a little bit. I think a little bit to the north of Taft Hill. And we're not too far from the stadium. And we still got family there now. We try to go up when we can to visit. We were there in August and went up to visit some family in Fort Collins. We got them all over the place there in Denver and in the Springs as well. So it's always a fun trip when we can get out there, Roger.
Yeah, copy that. Yeah, they decommissioned that stadium not long ago. So yeah, the grounds are still there, but I know right where you're talking about. If I stand on my roof when they had a game going, you could see it and hear it from here. So yeah, we're in the general area there for sure.
Yeah, well, again, going out to visit years ago was always fun. We did a couple of stints with Uncle Sam, so we ended up going here, there, and yonder. We did have one. We were stationed once there in Aurora when they had the base open there in Aurora. We closed that down in '94, and that was kind of nice being an hour away from mom and dad. Made it kind of just far enough away so they wouldn't show up unexpectedly, but close enough if you needed something they would be there. That's kind of how it's nice to work. And then of course you get moved here, there, and then the overall family home QTH is here in the area, and I'm not sure exactly how we ended up here, but here we are. And of course I always tell people, home's where you hang your hat there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I've got a friend that lives over by St. Louis. You may know him. He does HF too. W9MO Bob. Have you ever heard of him?
I think I have. I'd look him up to see if he's in the log, but I think I've heard him before. Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. He's a good guy. Well, I talk to him on DMR a lot. That whole digital linking stuff has been pretty great for staying in touch with people, that especially the ones that don't have HF. So that works out pretty good. But yeah, I actually met him on DMR, and then now we can work HF too.
Oh, very cool. The picture you've got there on your QRZ page, pretty current. You're sort of on the 7300.
I do. Yep. I've got the 7300, and the amplifier is an ACOM 700S.
You know, I looked at that amplifier, came really, really close to pulling the trigger, and I've already got I've got a 10-tech Hercules 2 solid state amp that does 550, and that wasn't a big enough range with the 700S. Nothing against the amp, but I already had something that was pretty close. And didn't even think this would happen. But I have a friend of mine that works at HRO in Texas, and we talk on occasion. And I happened to call him about a 1010 ACOM, and he said, "Yeah, we've got a couple of those." He says, "But I've got this other amp that came in. It's only 6 months old, and we've got this one here." I said, "What is it?" He said, "Well, it's an ACOM 1000." I go, "Man, that's a lot of money." And he says, "Not really." Anyway, he told me what it was, and they were able to provide free shipping and no sales tax, so that saved quite a bit of chunk at the time. So we've got the ACOM 1000 sitting here, and it's really not too difficult. You know, I didn't want to go back to a tube amp per se, but gosh, it takes less than 10 seconds, and this thing's tuned up really good.
Dude, I tell you what, I'm really impressed with the ACOM gear. Solid equipment, and those tube amps that they got, the way you tune them, it's pretty much, that meter, or center up that meter, it's pretty awesome. It's funny you should mention that. I have a 10-tech Titan Model 422, and I got a couple of huge Astron power supplies that I run it with, 270 amperes parallel, and that's a nice amp too, but it didn't do 6 meters, so I wanted something that would do 6.
Yeah, I certainly understand that. Well, we use it, believe it or not, on portable. Our little portable setup that we take with us. We've done it several times this year. We use 3 deep cycle marine batteries, 2 for the amplifier, and 1 will run into an inverter, a 1,000-watt inverter, to run the radio, the laptop, even an external monitor, and a wireless router as well. And so we can still run with power, and we also do a live stream portable as well through YouTube. Our router seems to work just about. I've never had any situation where I've been that it didn't work, and it works out really, really well. So we're able to do our live stream. We actually got our live stream up here this evening. Of course, we're at the home QTH, but yeah, I wouldn't give the amp up for nothing. I've had a couple opportunities to sell it, and I said, I'm just going to keep it. It's going to work one day and not the next. It just makes a great doorstop, but I'm just going to hang on to it because it's very versatile. It works quite well. You change the band switch and off you go. Pretty simple there, Roger.
Yep, and I picked mine up from a real good friend of mine here locally too. And it came with I've got the remote head for it and a couple of different power supply cables, and then I got the power supplies too. So, but I'm going to use that in my RV. And that's what I'm going to do with mine as soon as and I've got an ICOM 7100 that's got a lithium pack, that I have a lithium battery pack for it. And then I've got one of those, the antenna probably won't work, but I do have another Ballon that'll handle the power. But I've got I can't think of the name of it now. It's one of those, it's a Empath, Chameleon, Empath 2.0, so it's actually a combination of several different antennas, just depending on how you configure it. But yeah, when I retire here in 10 months,
extra microphone, so hi everybody there on the live stream.
I'll have that.
You can probably hear both,
it'll run off
but we got an extra mic tonight. I'll just say hi and make sure everybody's doing good on the live stream.
All those power supplies around.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. We were in up in the Black Forest end of July, 1st of August for a wedding up in Denver, and we stayed with some friends up in the Black Forest. And they were having some work done on their house and doing some rewiring and so forth. And we had tables set up. We'd done our portable from their garage and had our cables and things plugged in and what have you, and our power supplies. And the electricians were finishing up on their circuit breakers and testing them and what have you. And the 4 of us are outside just talking and having a good time. And the electricians are doing their thing, and all of a sudden they apparently hit a breaker, and all I heard was a big pop right behind us, and they blew my power supply for my Ten-Tech amplifier. Luckily, at the time we didn't know it, but it blew it sky high, and they were kind of dumbfounded, felt really bad and what have you. So long story short, I talked with the owner of the company and told him what happened. He says, well, we'll make it right. So I did go to HRO up in Denver and picked up a new power supply, brought it back down, and it's been working just fine. It's unfortunate it had to happen, but I will say this, the power supply I got is a whole lot lighter, more compact, and easier to set up.
Yeah, well, the power supplies that I got with this Ten-Tech amp, man, those things, they're like 80 pounds each, and he said it takes 2, but I think 1 would run that amp. I haven't tried it, but yeah, I got 2 of those power supplies, and man, I about put my back out moving those darn things.
Well, I can believe it, but I will say this power supply I've got is a 75 ampere, and of course it has dual meters on it, and even at 500 watts, the most I've ever seen it draw has been around 40 to 42 amps. So I just wonder if that was just a good marketing tool to get you to buy that big heavy amp or power supply, because I don't see a problem, and mine will lope along like that all day, and it doesn't draw much more than 40 to 42 amps.
Yeah, you started to fade down there a little bit that time, but I got it all. And I've switched that multimeter on the amplifier to the amp gauge, and at 550 watts, the most I ever seen mine draw is like 50 amps on peak. And that's, just it'll hit 50 amps occasionally. originally, you know. So I think one of those 70 amp, and it's those older Astron supplies that got the big, I can't think of what they're called now, but they're heavy. So, and I got two of them, so it's not bad to have them, I guess, but they're a pain to move.
Yeah. Well, that's why you only want to do it once. That would be the way, that would be the way to do it. Well, you know what? I can't believe this, but it should have happened sooner, I guess. But we actually had a contact back in April. There on the 16th here on 40 meters as well. And that's surprising. Again, I've been very fortunate. We've hit a lot of operators up and down the Front Range, and there's quite a few just in your area. Like I was mentioned earlier, I haven't had a chance to talk to Bob K0BNC. He's over in Severance. I haven't talked with him in a while, but when the propagation is right, him and I usually do quite well. And it's just amazing the operators there on the Front Range. Generally speaking, everybody's got great signals, but it seems to be later on in the evening for me. So I'm just dumbfounded right now how good the band is. You've bumped up quite a bit. The audio is just right on top, and you've been kind of covering right at that 5.9.
Yeah, you came back up that time too. I have my oldest son lives over in Severance in one of the new housing developments. So yeah, I'm familiar with Severance pretty good too. But yeah, that's the first time I turned my HF rig on in about a month probably. So glad I did.
Well, I'm glad you're able to pick me up. Again, every time we come out here in the evenings and call CQ, you don't know if the band is bad. You're not going to have anything, or heaven forbid you get this huge pileup. And I feel bad about it because we try to get to all the operators we can, and trying to pull those calls out. And a lot of times, by the time we're able to get back to some stations, the band has dropped out, whatever. And it's really unfortunate. I never did say I was a really good person, operator on pileups, so we do the best we can, but it's just kind of how it works. But hey, Jim, thanks for giving us a call. I know I've got a couple other here that mentioned that are sitting here on the live chat. Steve is there, and Glenn down in Florida said hello to him, and I know Nagasaki wants to get his 2 cents in there as well. But thanks again for coming back to the call, and thanks for getting a chance to work again. This is number 2. So I tell everybody, we get 4 contacts in my log, you become a regular. So we start throwing confetti and just having a good old time. So we're halfway there. So by all means, if you hear us again, turn on that HF rig, because if you sound like this night in, night out, well, you'll have a lot of contacts yourself. But you definitely sound good in my receive. And nice to see that 700S is doing a good job for you as well. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, evening. You are an hour behind us, of course. Probably still got some sunshine, but by all means, give us a call again if you hear. So I'd like to have a chance to work again. I really do enjoy working the Front Range there, and you guys always have really good stations and good signals, generally speaking. So 7-3 for now, and I know we'll talk again real soon. November 7 Victor, Delta Radio, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again, 7-3.
Real quick, one more thing before you go, and then I'll sign with you. What's your YouTube channel? I'll check that live stream out so I can look at our conversation again later.
Yeah, no problem. Jim, I'm sorry about that. I guess I should have mentioned that. Well, there's 2 ways to go to it. If you go to QRZ on my QRZ page, I have a link that'll take you right to my channel. Then you would look for the video with today's date. Of course, it's going to say live right now. Or if you go right to YouTube, put my call, K0RWB, in the search bar. It'll take you to the channel as well. Look for the same video. Probably, well, since you and I started, maybe about 10 minutes in, you can probably fast forward to that point. We'd be pretty close where you and I started. Give a look and a listen. Again, the only downside, there's a webcam pointer right at me. You get to see my smiley face, and I get to wave at you and that kind of stuff. But again, we've got our radio display up. We've got our oscilloscope going, so you can kind of look at your audio pattern, kind of see where your peaks and valleys are at on your audio, which is kind of fun. You also get to see the signal strength meter, kind of see things are. We enjoy doing it. I think others do as well, so we're going to have fun and continue doing it there, Roger.
Roger. All right, well, well, thanks again. I'm going to definitely check that out. That was the whole reasoning. I wanted to see what I sound like over in Missouri. So, all right, thanks again, and enjoyed talking to you. And now I think I remember talking to you one other time before. It's been a while, but I think you were live streaming then too. So, anyway, I will actually, once I find the current live stream, I'll forward it to our Telegram page so all the guys over here can see it too. Plus, it'll give you some more views. 73K0RWB from N7VDR, Fort Collins.
Well, I appreciate it very much. Yeah, give a look and a listen. Again, once you flip the switch, you've just been sitting here gangbusters as well. And your audio, you've got it dialed in really nice. So the 7300's definitely doing well for you. I had one for a short period. I did like the radio. This one just happens to have a few other features that the 7300 didn't. But I do appreciate it. And like I said, feel free to come back anytime. Love to have a chance to work you. You take care, 7-3s. We'll go ahead and clear with Jim. QRZ, let's see if Nagasaki's out there. Kilo 0, Juliet X-Ray, Nagasaki. Where's Steve at?
Roger, Roger. I don't know if you can hear me, brother. I don't know if the band's working. How are you there, K0, red, white, and blue?
Well, I'm doing pretty good for getting a night off last night. Boy, you're doing good. 5-9 plus 10.
Sweet, man. Yeah, 2FTDX10 owner. You can't hide a man of prosperity, can you?
Well, you know, that's almost as good as two operators running hex beams. It always seems to get another S unit or two out of them. So I guess now running the 10s, it probably helps us as well.
Hey, I want to give you a big shout out. I heard the conversation about the Boy Scouts, and that is awesome. If you could pull that off, that is just amazing. I'm proud of you, brother.
Well, you know, and thank you for that, but it just makes sense. I mean, really, that's a great thing about the ham community, Steve, and you know this as well. I'm sure you've done something like this at some point or another, but it's a great community. I think, generally speaking, we all kind of pull from one another. If we don't get new operators, the hobby dies, and then they take the frequencies away. I did have a chance to talk with Richard today on the phone. He's the one that him and I talked briefly on the air. He kind of gave me some more information about it. We're going to start at 10 o'clock on Saturday. That's when they're going to start. Then I think at this point they're going to have 3 different rigs or 3 different antennas on different bands, of course. Depends on where it's open. And, you could just tell he was really gung-ho for it and got me excited about it. And he said one of the other people that's going to be there with a radio has a hotspot and bring in his laptop. And I said, you know, if you're able to, and in a little stream, you can click onto YouTube. I'm going to stream it because it's going to record anyway. And the kids can come back later and listen to it if they want. But if they're there and we can actually do that live, I think it's really going to add. And I hope, again, if it gets one of the scouts to go, hey, this is something I might want to pursue, I think we've all done our job.
That's awesome, bro. That's just coming Saturday, isn't it?
That is coming Saturday, and they're going to start 10 o'clock Central Time. And Richard said, he goes, you know what, if you mention it to anybody else, he says, we don't want the scouts to be talking to dead air. And he says, we welcome any operator out there on the bands. And I'm not sure how they're going to intro it. You know, I don't think they're just going to call CQ. They're going to say ZQ, Scout, something or other. So I think people will get it. But again, I think the more participation that we can do that gets those scouts excited, I'm all for it. And like I said, if I can do a small part, maybe help, you know, with the live stream, get them excited about watching YouTube or whatever, hey, great. But I think, you know, all the operators that are out there, you know, on a Saturday morning, come one, come all.
QGP. Definitely contact those guys. I'm going to be out of radio this weekend. Anyway, I had an interesting conversation today with we were talking the other day about resources and about the DX10. And what started on this was when I was thinking about getting my DX10. I got on YouTube. I searched for videos on the DX10, and I found N4 Hotel, November Hotel, or in my case, Nagasaki, Hiroshima, over.
Oh, interesting. Well, tell me this. Did you turn the switch off, or did the band die on us that quick?
Uh-oh. Don't know.
Because I know you usually run a little bit of fire in the wire. I'm hoping that, because you just went from 10 over to about an S5, and that's not like you usually.
I'm sorry to hear that. Whoa, anyway, can you hear me now?
Well, let me hit the DNR. You know what that's all about. So let me hit that. I'll bet you'll come in better.
Copy that. Good now.
Well, Steve, that's no fun there. What's going on? I can't believe the band would just turn off like that. Usually you get a little bit of a warning.
Really good. Guys, you keep telling me. Well, I looked him up on QRZ. Got his email address, and I shot him an email, and I told him, what I got.
It's almost like a wax on and wax off. 1 second the band is there, the next second it's gone. But I do have people on the live stream who can hear me where we can't hear him, but that's okay.
Hey, Steve, we're gonna have to shut this. You just disappeared on me. I'm probably doing the same thing to you. I've never seen the band quite act up that much, even though we're not that far away. Send me an email. So I got your email address, and we'll talk further. I'd rather talk with you on the phone as well at some point. So yeah, it just shut down. I could barely copy what's going on, so it means you probably don't hear me either there, Roger.
Roger, Randy. Okay, let's turn it loose. See if somebody else wants to get in behind me. Stay recruiting, brother. Have a good evening. Say it back to you.
Well, I'm hoping that's not things to come. I'm hoping that we just got a little dead spot, but we talk quite often, Steve, so I know we'll have a chance again real soon. This is really weird. Hopefully it's just temporarily. And if it opens back up again, or you hear me better, then yeah, I'll shout back in there. But yeah, I better check. No, I got everything going here. It just kind of dropped off there. But anyway, we'll try it again, or you can hang out or kind of watch the stream or hit me on the live chat, whichever. So we'll see what happens. Kilo 0, Juliet X-ray November, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Sorry about that, Steve. It is the way it works. 7 3s. Okay, QRZ, any other stations come out with your call, please?
Whiskey 0, Radio November for Yankee Mike Foxtrot.
The Yankee Mike Foxtrot. Stand by 1 second. There was a Whiskey 0 station that came in there first?
Yes, sir. W0RCH. The first person is Rick. I'm located in Fountain, Colorado. How pop?
Well, okay, we got another one in Colorado, but give me the phonetics so I can get it in the log properly there, if you would.
Yes, sir. Whiskey 0, Radio, Charlie, Hotel, W0RCH.
Oh, that's Richard. We've talked before down in Fountain again. Yeah, maybe your ears are burning. Richard, I was just talking about you a while ago. I've had one contact in the Springs. I had another one outside of Loveland, which is way early in the contest for me, so to speak. But gosh, we'll take it. So how are things down in Fountain tonight? There, go ahead.
If they get any better, we have to do a barbecue out on the deck in the wintertime for sure. Things are real good. Even you at a 10 over signal, you seem to be just booming here all the time like that, over.
Well, I wish I could take credit for it, Richard, but I guess this high-priced equipment is starting doing its job. I'm not sure which, but very nice of you to say. We've had weather coming through the last 24 hours. I think we still got a little stuff in the atmosphere, so it's not the best. So I still got a little bit of noise. We're kind of filtering some of it out, but in the clear, you're a good 5 and 7 in between some of the noise and so forth. But I think we can get you pulled out okay there, Roger.
QSL. I was just playing with the filters on this IC 7300. Still trying to learn the rig, man, trying to make the best out of it. But getting along singing my song, always good to hear you. I'll let you get back to what you're doing, man. Thank you for what you do. This is Richmond, Colorado, W0RCH, right?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'll tell you what, you making an event Richard. You certainly do. You make it an event. And, you know, that enthusiasm will be very contagious. So you keep doing what you do, and I know we'll have a chance to talk again. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of better conditions on both of us. So no problem at all. But, hey, thank you for Fountain. Nice to hear you again. Always like to get a chance to work the Front Range. 7-3's Richard. We'll talk again real soon, I'm sure. Whiskey Zero Radio Charlie Hotel, Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo. Take care, my friend. 7-3's.
Roger that. 7-3 for now. 7-0 on field.
Okay, we'll go ahead and clear with Richard. The other station with the ending Yankee Mike Foxtrot. Give me your prefix, if you would, please.
Kilo November 4.
Okay, Kilo November question mark.
Kilo November 4. Yankee Mike Foxtrot. Kilo November 4. Yankee Mike Foxtrot.
Okay, got you that time, Lee. Hey, thank you so much. Again, I think all of a sudden it seems like our band is kind of up and down a little bit, but we're going to keep plugging away with it. Again, the name here is Randy, and the QTH, Lee, we're 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri there. Go ahead.
That sounds good. Well, I'm located in Northtown, Tennessee, the eastern part of the state. You probably got to be up anyways, but it's getting over here next to the mountains. In fact, I was working on the mountains yesterday, so I took some nice weather we're having. It's been something like temperatures. It cooled off a little bit at night like it does up there, so they don't take it. So the cold weather's on the way. Back to you, Randy.
Well, you know, my first contact tonight was Box Elder, South Dakota, up by Rapid City, and he said he got about 5.5 inches on the ground. And I thought, that's a little early for me when it comes to snow. So, you know, a little bit cooler weather I'm all for. I'm certainly not even close to being ready for any kind of snow there, Roger.
You know, plus I have to work outside a lot of the times, working with weather and stuff like that. So I like to be as warm as possible. Plus, I like to run my boat on the weekends, or maybe even on weekday evening, you know, do some fishing and stuff. And that kind of slows down when it gets real cold around here. I don't like going out on the boat in the street. It's just not as much fun. Back to you, Randy.
Yeah, I certainly understand that as well, and you know, I know that the season's changing, the weather's going to change, but boy, if we could just kind of find ourselves a happy medium. We seem to go from one extreme to the other here, and I think a lot of other parts in the U.S. do as well. But you know, and just hoping nobody gets severe weather. I don't, you know, we were really lucky. We got a lot of rain, but it was a quiet, constant rain, so no bad weather associated with it. That's always nice. I don't like to see anybody have any harsh weather. And I did pull you up, and I also looked in my log. We had a contact back in May 28th here on 40 meters as well. So I appreciate that. Thanks for the second contact here this evening. You know, we try to get out here in the evenings here on 40 meters. When we've got time and the bands are open and so forth, and we've been pretty fortunate so far. We've got a little bit of everything. It's been a little hodgepodge here and there. Just hoping that the band will kind of, at least in my location, kind of ease up a little bit so we can get a little bit better signals. But we've been fairly fortunate. We've been able to work most of the signals there. Roger?
Yeah, that sounds great. I personally think the band is in great shape. Oh, by the way, Randy, your signal report this evening, 5 over 9. You're doing real good getting into Tennessee. And I'm checking my log, and I was trying to talk on this 40 meters back on the 10th. The band conditions were terrible. I couldn't hear anybody. The noise was so bad. It seems like the band is holding up pretty well tonight in comparison as what it was 3 days ago. Back to you, Randy. So solid 5 over 9, Randy. Good job.
Yeah, again, I wish I could take credit for it, but I guess that means the equipment's doing its job, which is fine. We're not running any preamp or anything, so whatever signal we get in, we get in. And you've been setting between 5 and 5, 5 and 7. A little QSB, but nothing that's interfering with the audio. We can certainly pull out what you're saying. So, I'll take it. I don't really have much control over it, and as long as I have a chance to be able to hear them on the return, that's usually the main thing. And we've been really lucky here lately. It's worked out well. Monday night was really a great night. It just signals were coming from everywhere. Tennessee was very well represented on Monday. I'm telling you what, there had to be at least a dozen or so stations that checked in. Some I've talked with before, and a lot of first-timers, and it's great. Then we had a few in Kentucky as well. But gosh, I don't know if there's something in the water, in the ground, or what. But gosh, the signals out of Tennessee have always been pretty good there. Go ahead.
Well, I think it helps that we're kind of relatively centrally located. We live within, a significant population of the United States within 10-hour drive of Tennessee can reach out to a lot of people. But I don't know, Randy, have you noticed that there's been some openings right around 15 meters? I tried that for the first time just the other night. It seems to be kind of like a uncongested, relatively clear and quiet band. So I'm going to definitely check out 15 meters again sometime, Randy.
Well, I will say this. On Monday afternoon, we did have a little bit of activity on 15 and actually on 12. We go up to 20 we go up to 10 from time to time. We talked to a lot of people that says 10 is open, and I don't hear anything in my receive. I don't know, if it's just location or what. The hex beam is 6 through 20 meters, so I know that it does work. It just maybe the time of day, location, or just what, I'm not sure. But it is encouraging that the bands have been open, and a lot of them have been open a little bit longer. I do notice that when we get done here, we kind of roll up to 20 meters to see what's there. And for us, the last couple of nights, it's been just dead quiet all the way across the band. So it must shut down at a certain time frame. But we've also seen it open till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, midnight some nights as well. So again, it's just kind of the way it works. So I think the bands are open. We just try to take advantage of it as best we can, make the contacts we can. Again, I'm not a big fan of 5.9 QRZ. But I also have to be respectful of everybody's time. The 10, 15-minute QSOs don't work out so well either. So we always try to find a happy medium that I think everybody can live with there. Roger?
Yeah, I understand. There's a lot of people out there that run through them real quick, and people like me that talk a little too long sometimes. Yeah, I understand. I was going to say, the station's doing real good, Randy, and it sounds like a great setup you have. I'm using an end-fed wire antenna, so the thing gets a little temperamental sometimes. So it's one thing I love about radio, Randy, is you turn it on and you just never know what you're going to get. So it's a super fun hobby. I certainly like it. So I guess I'll be clear on your final, Randy, and I'll still see some other stations here. 73, Randy, I hope you're going to be soon. Thank you.
No, I've enjoyed it, and I appreciate you coming by, taking the time to stop in and say hi. Hopefully, again, you haven't waited too long. When we clear, we'll open it up, and we try to pull the signals out we can. We heard one earlier, and we were able to get back to them, and then we've got you here as well. So, that's just kind of how it works, and it takes a lot of patience for everybody. And, I appreciate that people want to stop in and say hi. I really do appreciate that. You don't have to. I get it. Some people like to stop in because we're doing the live stream, and they get a chance to listen to it later. Which again, we enjoy doing this, so I think other people enjoy it as well. But again, you hear us out there, please come back anytime you hear us. By all means, we'll just kind of pick it up where we left off, of course, and we'll go from there. So it's Wednesday night. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And what's left of the week, I know we'll have a chance to work again. I will say this, we got a neighbor in your area who's working with the Boy Scouts this weekend, and they're going to be doing this nationwide kind of a jamboree type thing on the air. And I know they're starting about 10 a.m. Central Time. We're trying to help get the word out. We're going to try to help participate with them as much as we can. So if you hear some of these Boy Scouts out there and you got the radio on, you've got a minute or two, give them a call or answer their CQ back, and that's the future of our hobby right there. So anyway, I'm not mean to preach, but I just wanted to get it out there so if people have the chance. Lee, thanks again, enjoyed it, and feel free to come back anytime. Kilo November 4, Yankee Mike Foxtrot, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thanks again, 7-3s.
73, Randy, thank you.
Okay, QRZ, any other stations, please, come with your call.
Kilo Echo 8, Romeo Bravo Yankee.
Well, guess who's back? Sounds like David's there. Boy, I sure hope you're done with all the concrete.
No, I just got the hot tub moved today and starting to get that section ready to pour.
Oh gosh, I had a feeling that we'd hear you at some point tonight. Hey, thank you for stopping by, David. Very nice to hear you. So how many bags did we do today?
I didn't do any. I had a meeting to go to this evening at 5:30, and I just got things ready to go.
Okay. Well, it probably didn't hurt the arms and the back to take an extra day. If the weather's good, I take it you'll be out there tomorrow?
More than likely. Main reason I stopped by was the QSO the other night with the Boy Scout thing, and I was wondering what frequencies they were going to be on, or is it going to be hit and miss?
Well, I was fortunate enough. If you heard that QSO on Monday with Richard, we did exchange emails. We did have a chance to talk on the phone today. He was able to give me a little bit more information. They're going to have multiple operators out there, and with multiple antennas, and the whole idea, of course, is to give some exposure to the scouts about amateur radio. And I'm sure that your attention can go really quick if you have nothing but dead air. So I know Richard mentioned 40 meters. He says we're going to try to go where there's some activity. I certainly get that. So my thing is, and I'm going to help with this as well, I told him that I would certainly be there on the air and hopefully listen for them and what have you. And I want to try to live stream it so the scouts come back and listen to themselves later. And he's going to try 40 meters, but we're going to try to see what bands work. So as I said earlier, if there's some operators that are out and about this weekend, but they're supposed to be nationwide. You could hear scouts from California or Washington State or even on the East Coast. The idea is we would like to get those scouts involved because that's a good chance of getting some new operators. But I know Richard told me 10 o'clock Central is when they're going to start, and then I'm just going to start rotating the band and see if we can hear them.
Roger that. I plan to be on also that on Saturday in the morning for that.
Yeah, again, I really think it's a great thing that they're doing. It's a lot of work on their behalf, and the enthusiasm. If you could have heard the phone call with Richard today, the enthusiasm he had, the excitement, and that's really what it's all about. If we don't have new people coming in, our hobby dies and they take our frequencies away, like I've said earlier. So if it gets one scout interested in the hobby and maybe gets into it, I think that's a great thing. We may have done our job and so forth, and I think all of us coming together. First off, it's to me it's fun anyway. You're going to make contacts. You've got some kids out there that either may be really shy on the microphone or may just talk your ear off. You don't know which, but to take a few minutes and maybe enlighten them about how amateur radio works, I think it's a great thing.
Roger that. That's why I plan to be on there and try to make a few shows with them also, just to help promote the hobby and help them understand where we all come from and what we all do with the hobby.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And having those operators on the ground, with the equipment, I'm sure that they're showing them how they're setting up and how they're putting the antennas up and so forth. I think that again, that's just it's something different than more than likely a lot of them are not exposed to. So again, it's really cool. You flip the band, you got this microphone in front of you, and then you don't hear anything, or they call CQ and there's nothing. That I don't want to see. So again, I'm going to try to be there, and if there's other operators that have time and have a chance to check in with them as well, I think we've kind of done our job.
because of that. Because I want to be on there too to help and do what I can to help them.
Yeah, I think at one point or another, as all of us started in amateur radio, we had somebody that either maybe kind of helped, the light bulb come on or whatever. Some of us came over from the old CB days. I did back in the 70s and just kind of graduated to it. But there's other instances where, somebody had mentioned it or they got exposed to it, and we've taken it one step further. And I hope that's what happens this weekend as well. I don't know if it's one day. I didn't bother to ask Rich or not. If it was 1 day or 2 day, I know I'm gonna try to do what I can, for Saturday, and I'm looking forward. I think it's going to be fun. I just hope propagation will be on our side as well.
Roger that. That's what I'm hoping for. And like I said, the minute I heard that, heard QSA start and what he was talking about on QSA, I made a note of it, and then I knew you two were going to talk, so that's why I came back to you tonight to see where everything's going to be at.
Well, and here I thought you were just going to give us an update on the project, but that's okay. You're taking a standby on the project, and I'm sure you deserve that time. But I expect you to get out there tomorrow, my friend, as long as the weather isn't bad. I want to see some pictures. I want to see this thing completed.
Well, I'm going to get it set up tomorrow and be ready to go. I've got one under the hot tub. I had paver stone, 2 foot by 2 foot. Well, the first 4 I poured, and this is right after we got the hot tub. The screening run over on the paver stone, so I got to get the railroad jack to get one up now.
Well, and I have no doubt you'll get it squared away at all. Of course, we still got a couple of days left before the weekend, so I'm sure you've got some time to do that. And I'm hoping that the numbers of bags that is starting to get less and less and less. I know the other day you mentioned you got about 40 bags for this and a couple other things. So hopefully those bag numbers are getting fewer and fewer and fewer, and we're getting closer to the completion.
We are closer. I think if it works out, I think I've got about 20 bag pours, and that will complete all the concrete, and then I can start putting the rest of the project together.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, again, one thing that we do enjoy about doing this in the evenings, and of course having it streaming, is one for information like what you're doing on your project, and I think people are kind of listening along as well. David, how you've been doing. The other thing was the conversation the other night with Richard. Again, like yourself, and I'm sure others have gotten some interest or kind of interested in what happens with the Scouts this weekend, and that's all we're really trying to do here is maybe get some information out there, some experience with different equipment and antennas and those kind of things. We've had that from time to time, and again, it's a great community. We're sharing information and so forth, and that's really what we wanted to do when we decided to start doing this here in the evenings. And I've got to say, it's been really great. A lot of you have provided lots and lots of information. It's not about me. It's about what you guys bring. And we've been really happy with the return there. Go ahead.
Roger that. Like I said, I really enjoyed that when you put the pictures on the project the other evening. YL sitting here on the other side of the room, and I pointed to the TV when you brought them up, and she kind of enjoyed that also.
Well, that's great, and that's really part of it, David. Again, I like to say the simple things in life, and maybe that's one of them. I know I enjoy doing it, and I think other people enjoy seeing it, and I'm just going to keep doing it as long as everybody else enjoys it. Again, I try to pull the pages up and run them across the screen from time to time. And I know Alex, he does it just about on every single one that comes up there. Sometimes I forget, you get busy talking and what have you. But again, I know a lot of people have listened to our conversations and what your progress has been. And now that you provided pictures, I think we all get a better idea of the scale of the project you're doing. And I really think by putting those pictures on there, and everybody else gets to see, and it wouldn't surprise me you don't start getting calls and say, "Hey, come do it for me." But that'd be up to you if you want to do that kind of thing.
No, I don't want to pour any more concrete when I get this done for a while. It's starting to fade on me. I think the band's going wonky, so I'm going to say 73. Kilo Zero Romeo Whiskey Bravo. This is Kilo Echo 8 Romeo Bravo Yankee 73, Randy.
No problem, David. Thank you as always. And hopefully we'll get a chance to hear you and maybe even work you on Saturday. And that should be fun as well. So again, thank you for stopping in. Always a pleasure to hear you out there. Nice to get a chance to talk. Yeah, I do think the band is kind of moving around a little bit. We'll see what happens here in just a second. But no problems. We had a good little QSO, and I know we'll have plenty more coming down the road. 7-3s, enjoy the rest of the evening. Say hi to the YL as well. Tell her we're glad that she enjoyed the pictures. We enjoyed putting them out there. So, Kilo Echo 8, Romeo Bravo Yankee, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. 7-3s, David. Okay, QRZ, any other stations, please? K0RWB, Randy in Kansas City.
Whiskey Radio 1 Oscar.
Golf Uniform Yankee.
Whiskey Radio 1 Oscar. Gosh, what a great call sign. How much did that one cost, Mark?
It cost me about 20 years ago.
Well, it never fails. We're at 7212, and there's somebody at 7210 who's just killing me. We got to try that one again.
Yeah, I hear it too. There's a lot of QRM. But no, it's about 20 years old, and it was just a $13 upgrade.
Hey, that's all that matters. You know, again, getting on the air and getting it working no matter what the price. To me, that's a great thing in my book. Well, so far this evening, you are by far the longest QSO from Spencer here to Kansas City. 1,175 miles. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, you sound great. You're 10 over 9. 10 over 9. Even though there's a lot of noise, you're coming right over all the noise. No problem at all. No problem at all.
Well, that's great, Mark. I appreciate that. Yeah, you're okay in the clear as well. 5.7-ish, right around there. I'm not running any preamp or anything. It's amazing. People say their signals are better me going out than what's coming in. I don't know, but that's okay. We're able to make the contact and have the QSO, so that's all good for me in my book. And well, the log shows that this is number 4. So that's great. You've just become a regular, so later on we're going to throw some confetti and have a party. So now we expect you back all the time there. Hi.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, that's great, Randy. It's good to speak to you again. I was just tuning around and heard you. The band is wide open. So I'll let you pick up some other stations. But thank you for the nice report, and I hope to work you again. Over.
Well, no problem. We try to get out here on a regular basis, Mark. Sometimes things kind of get in the way. We were very fortunate Monday night worked. Last night the band was in really bad shape, at least in my QTH. I was trying to make contact with Alex down in Florida. It wasn't working. We both kind of said we better just hang up. We did have weather in the area. It looked like it's been okay so far. I think it's moving around, but again, you know, we're going from Missouri to Massachusetts. That's not a bad thing. So that means the band is doing okay. It could be better, but we'll take it for what it is. Mark, it's always a pleasure, and I do thank you again taking the time to stop in and give us a call. And like I said, number 4, so nice to have another regular here as well. So, my friend, anytime you hear us, you got a minute or two, give us a call back, and we'll just pick it up where we left off. Always likes to hear you out of Massachusetts. And I know we'll have many more QSOs going down the road. Love the call sign, by the way. Quite nice. I like that very much. 7-3s, enjoy the rest of your night, Mark. Whiskey Radio 1 Oscar, Kilowatt 0 Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thanks again, 7-3s. All right, take care. We'll go ahead and clear with Mark. Kilowatt 0 Radio at Whiskey Bravo, QRZ. Any other stations, please? November 4, Golf Uniform Yankee. Oh, that's got to be Lester. Hey, good evening. How are you doing? Oh, did I get the call right? November 4, Golf Uniform Yankee?
It's November 8th, Golf Uniform Yankee.
Oh, it's a November 8th, so I got to multiply by 2. My mistake. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. So if I typed it in correctly this time, then it's Albert. Roger?
Correct. That is correct. Near Youngstown, Ohio. You're 5-9 plus 10. 5-9 plus 10. QSL?
Oh, that's terrific. And I see on the page here you go by Guy. My apologies. My apologies for the call. Like I said, sometimes I get ahead of myself. Thank you very much for the 5 and 9 plus. I've got you dead solid at 5 and 9. Here in the Kansas City area, just a little bit on the east side of it. And again, nice to know that we're getting a little out tonight. And yeah, that would be the first contact I think we've had into Ohio. But boy, you're real close to the border too, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm really close. I'm near Youngstown, Ohio, and I actually work in Pennsylvania, and it takes me about 8 minutes to get to work. So yeah, I am pretty close.
That's great. Well, I don't have quite that same setup as you. Of course, we're on the western side of the state, so I'm about maybe 40 miles to the Kansas border. We don't go over there very often if we don't have to. So we like to stay in our own backyard, if you know what I mean there, Roger.
Gotcha. What was your call sign again? I wrote it down, and I tried to type it in QRZ, and it didn't come up, so I got it wrong. If you could repeat it.
Well, no problem. I figure, I did yours wrong, and it's okay. The call here is Kilowatt 0 Radio Whiskey Bravo, K0 Red, White, and Blue. Again, the name here is Randy, and we're in a little town called Bate City, Missouri, 35 miles east of downtown KC.
Very good. I'm really pleased with the 5x9 compared to last night. I tried to work a few last night, but the QRM was so bad, I just gave up.
Well, it's interesting you say that. I had a quick phone call with a friend of mine down in by Miami, and I said, let's see if we can work each other, because he said the band was really bad yesterday afternoon, and we couldn't hear each other, so we didn't get on the air. He generally does a YouTube live stream. I do one as well. We're doing ours right now, of course. And we didn't want to do it last night. You call CQ, you're doing a live stream, there's nobody to talk to. It makes it pretty boring really quick. So we just had a feeling we would just take the night off. But tonight seems to be a whole lot better. We've got lots of contacts so far there, Roger.
Roger, yeah. I feel much better this evening. I'm kind of new to ham radio. I've only had my license for about a year now. And I have a real good Elmer. And my antenna is just a dipole I set up. It's only up about 23 feet. I ran a balance line to it. But I tell you what, it does it extremely well. It must be efficient.
Yeah, I've got no problem hearing you. I think we've got somebody at 7210 that's kind of bleeding over, even though we've been sitting here for an hour. I guess 7210 is a very popular frequency. I don't know. When we got out here 6:30 Central, it was really quite quiet in the area. So if it gets any worse, we might move up 1 or 2 KCs. But for now, I think we'll try to work through it. But certainly know what you're talking about there. Certainly understand that. Like I said, I've got your page up. We ran it across our stream. Love the picture there that you've got. Both of them, actually. The Badlands picture and what a terrific sunset picture with the flag in the forefront and the sunset behind it. That's a terrific picture, by the way. And we know what you're talking about. There's a dipole doublet, of course. 23 feet, yeah, it's always nice to have them higher, but if it works, you know it works. We have a dipole on the side of our tower at 38 foot, and we wanted to go higher, but we're not going to mess with it because it seems to work, and if I mess with it, then it won't work, so we're going to leave well enough alone there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I hear that. As long as it works, don't touch it. I've been pretty pleased with mine so far. And I guess next thing on my shuffle list, I'd like to get a small amplifier eventually so I can work Europe more often. Every once in a while, propagation is good. I won't get over there with just, the 100 watts, but I like to get over there more often.
No, I certainly understand that, Guy, and that makes sense. It really does. It sounds like you've got a good Elmer, a good sounding board. I was really fortunate when I started. I had a good Elmer, and one thing he told me at the beginning, he said 90% of your station should be antenna, and 10% should be everything else. And there's a lot to say about that. But he also said, in his experience, is that the last piece of the puzzle should be an amplifier, and he's right about that. So we kind of went through that same progression, and time a little bit over time, we were able to accumulate different equipment and so forth. And the last piece of the puzzle was an amplifier, and it does make a noticeable difference. You will have a chance to reach out and touch people, but I will also say this, especially here on 40 meters. Generally speaking, night in and night out, 100 watts in a wire does really good here on 40. There are occasions when the band is in great shape. It's a struggle. I get it, but that's really not bad. But I certainly understand if you're wanting to work some DX, having a little bit extra does help you there. Go ahead.
Yeah, it does seem that way. My Elmer actually is the CEO of DX Engineering, and he doesn't live too far from my house, basically. And K3 London Radio is his call sign. He's the one that came over, and he made me use a balanced line. He says, no, you're not going to use coax. You're using a balanced line. It's a lot less lossy. So I listened to him, and I tell you what, I'm glad it worked.
Yeah, that's really good. Listen, I don't know if you're able to hear these folks down at 7210. It's starting to get a little louder. So if you don't mind hanging in there, let's see if we can go up 1 kc to 7213. Maybe we'll get away from it. My end is really starting to move in on me. So if you don't mind, we're going to QSY to 7213.
QSL.
Okay, we'll try it again. November 8, Golf Uniform Yankee, Kilowatt Zero Radio at Whiskey Bravo. Guy, did you make it up here? Go ahead.
Yeah, very good. I am here. And you did copy about my Elmer, right?
I certainly did, yeah. And now I'm not hearing that noise in the background, so you're also a lot clearer. And by the way, I will say this: love the audio. I'm not sure what microphone you've got there. I think you said you're running 7610, but just wanted to comment as well. Very nice audio. Signals come up a little bit as well, so I think it was a good move there. Go ahead.
Yeah, is what I did. I got the Heil PR40 mic here that I'm using, and I have a switch down on the floor, and I like it. It seems like it works very well. Yeah,
the PR40 is a great microphone. We had a chance to try one. The PR40 is 781, a Heil Gold Line, and I think an HM12. We were very lucky that we have got a store here in the metro area, and we were able to try those 4 microphones. And this is the PR781. The PR40 for me and my voice, it's already low enough, and the 40 really jumps down into that low range. So it wasn't going to work for my application. I know lots of people who run the 40, and they love it. I think it is a good microphone. Just for me and my voice, not so much. The 781 doesn't have quite that many lows. It's a little bit more opened up in the high. Seems to work real well. We've had other Heil microphones. We've got a Heil Elite headset, which works out well for us. So congrats. I think it sounds really good. It's come up, the signals come up as well, so you're a little bit more in the clear. That's why I'm getting a better chance to listen to the audio. And it's going to sound good on the playback there, Roger.
Very good, very very good. That's great to hear. Is what I did on my transmit. I set my treble up to +2. I went to +2, and it seems like it's working pretty well at +2.
Yeah, that's good. This is the one thing I will say about ICOM, and I had a 7300, same line or in the same family as yours. The ICOM is really easy to set up audio-wise. Really easy to set up. A lot more easier than this Yaesu. And it's a lot easier to, on the ICOM, what I notice on mine is small changes made big differences on the air. And I don't get this with this radio. I think we've got this dialed in pretty much set, and I'm okay with it, but I was really impressed on how well the ICOM could be adjusted for audio, and yeah, again, I think it's a home run.
I really like it. It's what A3L gave me. He gave me a 7300 because I used that for a while and I loved it. And then there was another new guy coming up who just got his license, a young kid in high school. So it was time for me to get something. So the 7300 went to him. And my Elmer gave me to use a 7610, so I used that for a little while, and it was time to buy one, so I just went out and bought one. And going from the 7300 to the 7610 worked out extremely well because I know it now.
It's like driving a Volkswagen to a Cadillac.
Yeah, I hear you, and I have to utilize it, the dual transmits here and receiver. I'm going to start working on that to get me another antenna up and go from there.
Well, good for you. Again, I don't think you're going to have enough antennas in the air. We currently have 2. Generally, we have 3, sometimes 4, but currently we've got 2 in the air. Of course, we are in the country, so we don't really have to worry about restrictions and those kind of things. We still try to be very respectful to our neighbors, of course. And don't have anything over the property lines and that kind of thing or what have you. But we don't lack for wire in the air, I guess you would say there, Roger.
Roger, I got that. One thing I'm very lucky about is I am very high where I'm at. I'm not in a hole. I'm up on a hill. I have a lot of trees around me, but I have a straight shot out where one spot where there's no trees. And that does help me also. Just being with a high elevation.
Yeah, again, location, that's certainly part of it. Altitude is our friend. However, antennas work really good in the trees all the time on portable. So I think if you get it dialed in, get the right configuration, your feed line and so forth, a little bit of equipment can go a long ways. You don't need the big high power stations and so forth to be successful in amateur radio. Again, I think every little bit does help, but to me it's a combination of things. This has to work. That means this has to work in line with this and this and this, and they all have to kind of melt together. I still think from time to time the microphone has to get familiar with the radio and vice versa, and we've kind of worked those issues out, and I think it's gotten better for us. So, that's just kind of how it works there, Roger.
Oh, yeah, I believe exactly what you're saying, and so far I'm pleased. And I tell you what, this was a really nice QSL, and I do want to talk again sometime. I'll look for you out there. Over. Yeah,
by all means, be glad to. Again, we do try to get out here about 7 o'clock Central time. We've gotten out here a little bit earlier the last couple of nights just to see if we can find ourselves a spot, because 40 has been getting kind of packed over time. So again, that's kind of why we moved a little bit, so we can get a little bit of a clear spot. I don't think it's messing with anybody else. We also do a live stream on YouTube. We're actually live streaming right now on YouTube, Guy. So if you're interested in going back and listening to our QSO, it does record. You can do that. My channel is my call sign. If you go to my QRZ page, I have a link, a YouTube link. You click the link, it takes you right to my channel. You look for the video with today's day on it. Of course, now it'll say live. And if you wanted to listen to today's video, you and I probably started about the 1 hour mark. You could kind of move or fast forward to that point. You get an idea of where we're at. But give a look and a listen. You get a chance to actually hear what you sound like on the air. Of course, I do put my radio display is on the YouTube channel, so you can see the signal meter. I've got my oscilloscope up. You can actually look at the audio wave pattern of your signal, the peaks and valleys you've got. If there's any adjustments you've been thinking about, you can kind of get an idea from watching that. Or if you want to leave it the way it is, fine. I will say this, the only downside is there's a webcam and it's pointed right at me. You get to see my smiley face, and I'll even wave at you. But feel free to give a look and a listen if you want. If you want to come back, we encourage it. Come back anytime. If you'd like to know more, we're out here live again on the channel. There's a little notification bell. You can click on that, and whenever we go live, you'll get a notification that, hey, we're out here. So by all means, feel free to do so. Anyway, I'll say 7 3s for you now. And thank you for giving us a call. I do appreciate it very much, and I hope you do come back. I've enjoyed it, and I hope you have too. And give a look and a listen to the channel, see what you think, and leave a comment if you'd like. See what you think of that as well. And we try to be out here on a regular basis, so if you hear us again, give us a call back. We'll say 7 3s for now. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. November 8, Golf Uniform Yankee, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo. Randy in Kansas City. Thanks again, 7 3s.
Very good, Randy. I'll check it out. Appreciate the QSL.
No problem at all. Take care, my friend, 7 3s. We're going and clear with Guy. I wanted to say real quick, we did this on Monday night for those that are listening and those on the live stream. We've got a special event coming up with myself and 4 other operators around December time frame. And we did this the other night. We're going to transition over on the live stream. We've got a QSL card that we're going to have available for those with an SASE. It's going to be called the Christmas Train. So between December 23rd, December 26th, myself and 4 other operators under the special calls November 0 Tango, November 0 Radio, November 0 Alpha, November 0 India, and November 0 November, which spells train. We're going to be out and about on the different bands on the 23rd, 26th. So what we're going to be doing is probably once or twice a week to kind of let people know we're out there. We also are listed for the December issue of QST magazine, and you can find our information there as well. But we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time. We've got operators from around the country who have been gracious enough to come out and help me with this. And all it is to kind of spread some holiday cheer, Merry Christmas, and those kind of things. Even have a couple of trains whistles mixed in. So that's what we'll say for now for that, but we're going to be mentioning it more later on as well. So this is Kilowatt 0 Radio Whiskey Bravo, Randy in Kansas City, QRZ. Any other stations, please?
Kilo Echo 7, India, November, Victor.
Kilo Echo 7, India, November, Victor. That sounds like Nick. Hey, good evening.
Good evening. Been reading the mail here a little bit. I just want to elaborate on the Cub Scout thing. My son actually got a pin for amateur radio when he got his tech license. So that was quite fun there. Over.
Oh, that is terrific. Hey, Nick, thanks for sharing that. That's really cool, and I'll bet that's something they still talk about today.
It was really cool, and he was happy to get it, and he still does radio today. So definitely got one on the books here. But just wanted to jump in there and give that little tidbit of information. They can earn a pin for that. So anyways, I did not get your call there. Over.
Yeah, no problem at all, Nick. The call here is Kilowatt 0 Radio Whiskey Bravo, K0 RWB, red, white, and blue. The QTH, we're 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. There, go ahead.
Good deal. Yeah, you're making a fine trip. We're out here in Nevada in a little town called Lovelock, so definitely a good little jump there. Yeah, I've been listening in for a little bit, just kind of waiting my turn there. So appreciate you getting me in there, and maybe we will catch you this weekend there. Over.
Yeah, fine business. Be great. I've got your page pulled up here. A little jealous here on 2 fronts. One is the 4-seater, and the other one is the 890. Well, now it's 3. I'm looking at the antenna fields you've got on the tower as well. There's probably a reason why you sound quite so good there, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, and we're running the OM 2000, kind of helping out here, doing almost legal limit there. And and we are working the vertical there in the picture. Over.
Yeah, Rod, you know, it's amazing you say that. I've talked with many operators off and on the last couple of weeks, and they'll have a vertical and they'll have a dipole, and they'll switch back and forth, and it's amazing. Some nights they say the dipole works better than the vertical, and sometimes the vertical works better than the dipole, Roger.
Yeah, actually I do the same thing here. I got a 40-meter dipole up, an 80-meter dipole, and a 160. So, it all depends on the conditions. A lot of times I'll, use that dipole. So, plus I think they're a little louder at times, believe it or not. But, we enjoy the hobby, obviously, and try to get out here as much as we can there, over.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Again, I think it's a terrific hobby. You know, and most of us have other ones as well, but we always seem to kind of gravitate back to this one, even if it's for a short period of time. And that's okay, too. I've been that way. I've been away for a while, come back into it again. Of course, the last year and a half, you know, a lot of us have kind of come back, and those kind of things. I certainly understand that, and I've been kind of been there myself. I will say right now, so far, the last one, our contact in Massachusetts was the longest, which was 1,135 miles, and you have now eclipsed that. My logger straight line says we're 1,297 miles apart from yours to mine, and this is by our grid locator. So I would say that's pretty close. And you have by far, so far this evening, has probably one of the better, cleanest audios we've heard as well. So thank you for both of those.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words there. We've been working pretty hard to get the audio set up on this thing, and the microphones been going back and forth. I heard you talking about the microphones too. The PR781, I love that microphone. I'm currently running the PR40, so I just been testing them out and trying to do the same thing you did there. Over.
Yeah, you know, and the thing is, Nick, there's nothing wrong with any of them, and they all work better or worse for some people's their voice. That's just the way it is. And again, I could probably put the PR40 in line with this and do a few more adjustments with it than when I did on this microphone, and it would probably sound just as good. To me, this sounded a little better for me out of the box, but I don't know how many people I've talked with the PR40s, and they sound terrific. Again, your audio is it's not overdriven, it's not clipped, and it's a technical term that I use. It's very bright. It's right in front of me, and it's very pleasant to listen to. So I think you've got it's a good pair for the 890 anyway. My friend Alex down in Florida had the 890 until a couple of weeks ago with the same microphone. So I've heard the setup before, and Bob makes a good product on purpose, and that makes it a great benefit for all of us there, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, he does put out some good equipment. I will agree with that. And another one I tried was, which I still have here, is a Sennheiser. Those sound pretty good. They got a little even more highs in it. But anyway, so it's all in I guess how you want to sound. So very enjoyable. Just to mess around and play in the hobby here, and really enjoy it. So all right, I did not get your name. I haven't pulled you up on QRZ. I've been having too much fun jabbering with you. I didn't even get you pulled up yet there, over.
No problem. I do that sometimes myself. Again, I should do this in the beginning, but I think a lot of people have heard it, so I don't know about repeating it. The name here is Randy, and again, the QTH, 35 miles outside of Kansas City, Missouri. And a call again, K0 RWB Kilowatt 0 Radio Whiskey Bravo. If you've been copied the mail, then, or maybe not, or you didn't get it in time, we are live currently here on YouTube as well. We're doing our live stream, so our QSO is being recorded, but it's also live. But if you want to go back and listen to your audio yourself, I've got the link on my QRZ page, or go to YouTube, put in my call, go to the channel and look for the video with today's date. You get a chance to give a look and a listen there, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. I will definitely look that up. You're giving me some homework now. I really enjoy listening and just seeing what I do sound like. Last time I listened in, I had kind of I don't even know what setup I was running, but I had kind of a high squealy voice. I don't know, squeaky voice, I guess, is the word I'm using. I really didn't want to use that, but I guess I'm going for that one. But, yeah, so hopefully I cleaned it up here a little bit. And once again, Randy, really beautiful contact, beautiful signal, by the way, coming my direction. So the flowers right back at you. Good sounding rig there, too. You're running what's the rig there, over?
This is the Yaesu FTDX10. We've got this one in February, and we had it for about almost, I think, 2 or 2.5 months, and the PA went out of it, so we sent it to Yaesu in California. They had it for 5 weeks, and they were able to do the repair on it, and we got it back. Haven't had a problem since, and we like it so much we bought another one. So that's down in Studio B. This is Studio A, is my friend Todd has named them months ago, and we have Studio B downstairs, which also has the Yaesu FTDX10. We run the same antennas downstairs, only a different amplifier. It's the only difference between the 2 different rigs. Same computer type setup, 3 monitors. We're able to do the live stream and run the logger and everything else. We have an alternate location because the wife has conference calls, Zoom calls during the day. We don't want to bother her being that close, so we go to the downstairs location there, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Well, it sounds like you got a wonderful setup in it. That's a beautiful radio, so I know you'll get years of enjoyment out of that. But all right, Randy, well, I didn't want to hold it too long. I know there's some other people want to get at you there, and I do appreciate you coming back to my station out here and having the longest contact of the night here. When you say your location, I thought it was a little farther than that. So, yeah, the internet doesn't lie. So I appreciate the kind words and hopefully catch you on this weekend with the Cub Scouts here. Over.
Yeah, please do that. Again, if you've got time and you hear them out there, again, the information that I've been told is it's scout sections from around the country, and I think also a world as well. If I understand what Richard was telling me this morning. So again, we want to do our thing. I mean, I've done that at one point, and even on his new operator, you call CQ and there's dead air. Nobody likes that. So I tell everybody, if you got an opportunity, you hear the scout troops out there, no matter what state they're in, by all means go back to them. So that's great. I'm glad if you have a chance to do that, Nick, that'd be great. And again, feel free to come back anytime. Terrific signal, by the way. I'm really surprised we haven't worked before, but I don't see a contact in my log. But thank you so much for the first one, and really enjoyed it. Really have. Usually don't go quite this long, but I had a great time talking with you, and hopefully people got it as well. A lot more things we could talk about, but we are getting kind of short on the time there. So anyway, you and yours have a good evening, 7-3s. Thank you so much for Nevada. I believe that's right. Yeah, that was right, Nevada. Lovelock. And I know we'll have a chance to work again, especially you got a signal like that. 7-3s, enjoy the rest of your night. Kilo Echo 7, India, November, Victor, Kilowatt 0 Radio, Whiskey Bravo. Thank you, Nick. Have a good night.
Yeah, 73s, and thanks again. I heard every word. Great sounding station. We'll talk again, 7-3s.
All right, take care. We got another one that's been standing by for a while. I had a feeling Justin was going to leave on me, but hopefully he's still hanging in there. So that's a great thing about the back door. Justin, I think, may have used that once or twice before. I'm not sure. Kilo Yankee 4, Juliet Romeo. Justin, are you there?
Hey, Randy, this is KY4 JR. I don't know how good you're hearing me tonight, but you're back up to a 5.9 plus over here in North Carolina now.
Well, you're 5-8, 5-9, Justin. If you call in earlier, I don't want you to think I was ignoring you. I try to grab him when I can hear him there, Roger. But you found the back door, so you know how to get in there, don't you?
Yeah, Roger. You only called one time. You had several guys that sounded like calling in, and just been sitting here waiting. I'll figure check it out again. Made a few adjustments on this mic. I don't know how it sounds. If you could tell any difference from the other night or not, but I thought I would go back and watch after we get done with QSO here and see if it sounds any better to me. And yeah, I don't know what happened earlier. You took a dive down to about 5-3. I can still hear everything, but you come back up now, so that sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think again the band moved around. It did dive a little bit. I'm talking with my friend Steve over on the east side here of Missouri, and he was 10 over. And then next time around, it was just down in the mud, and I think we both dropped off. So it seems like maybe it's opened back up and it's holding a little bit more steady. So I think that's a good thing. The only thing I'll say about the audio, Justin, it all depends on what you're trying to do with it. If you're trying to set it up for rag chew or long QSOs, or if you're wanting to set it up for DX or bust and pileups, that's the only thing, that an adjustment you might want to make. So I'm not going to say yay or nay. Depends on what you're trying to do with the audio there, Roger.
Yeah, I just wanted to boost the low a little bit. I recorded the settings that I had before. I kind of liked how it sounded. It sounded a little higher, maybe a little punchier. Like I say, I'll just have to listen to it from your end to kind of tell the difference there. Like I said, I think I bumped it up a little bit, the lows a little bit. I could tell a little difference in the monitor. But like you said last week, just because it sounds one way in your headphones doesn't mean it sounds like that on the air.
Yeah, at least it's been that way for me, Justin. I've got headphones on now. I've got the monitor going on, so I can hear it in my headphones, and it doesn't sound good. To me, it doesn't. But when I listen to the playback, which I do generally after we've shut down the stream, just so I can, because again, people are sharing information that sometimes I don't have enough time to write it down, so I go back and listen to different parts of QSOs, and I'm able to pick stuff up. And to me, it sounds better on the playback than it does when it's live, at least for me and what I hear in my headphones. So again, right now, what I hear with your audio, it's all high. I don't hear any of the lows or mids. And a lot of it could be propagation as well. So I don't want you to go make all these big changes and so forth, but that's just what I hear currently. And that's not bad at all. It may take some more adjustments, but again, you go back and listen to it. You decide what you want to change, and you can always call back, and I'm glad you stuck in there with me, and we'll record it again like we've had the last couple of times and go from there.
Yeah, Roger, on that, like I say, I listened back to it. I recorded what I had before and listened to it again, like I said, after the stream last week, and it sounded pretty good. It sounded like me, maybe a little light on the lows, and I just played with a few other settings there, and it could have gone worse, but you never know until you try it out, and I appreciate you being here and doing what you're doing and giving me the opportunity to listen to myself and make my adjustments, and hopefully we'll get it dialed in the way I want it. And I'm going to go out of town this weekend, do a little bit of QRP portable when I go. I'm going up into the mountains near Asheville, North Carolina, and get up there at some elevation and try to do a little QRP portable, do a POTA activation if I get enough time. So we'll be able to go outside and operate in the cooler weather, and like portable is one of my favorite things to do, and I haven't been able to do it very much lately, so give me a good opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I think that's great. You're going to do a activation this weekend, and of course running portable is fun as well, no doubt. And if you heard earlier, the boy, I think it's called Boy Scout Jamboree, is this weekend, and I know for sure on Saturday. So I don't know, when you're running portable, you're sitting on a frequency. I get it, but if you're spinning the band looking for a spot or something, and you happen to hear the Boy Scouts, if you got a minute or two and you can hear them and work them, call into them, because we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to do our part on this end with them. I'm hoping that propagation will work, that we can hear the Boy Scouts that are out there. So, I guess I know you're working your POTA, but if you're flipping the band and you hear them, you get a chance, I'd give them a call as well there, Roger. Yeah, I think it is. It really is. And, as I said earlier, if this inspires one scout to maybe look into this a little bit further, or maybe considering getting their license or something, I think, hey, that's great. That's one thing I like about the community. And again, it was a nice thing that Nick said. He's out in Nevada, is his son had gotten the badge for radio and still sticks with it. Well, that's really cool. And again, I like it when people share stuff like that. Again, this isn't about what Randy's talking about. It's what you guys talk about, what you guys bring to the table that we all can benefit from, and all the information that we can take from it. So, you know, this is really a cool thing, Justin. I just really enjoy doing this.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you're there, and I'm glad that we got to have the QSO again tonight. And anytime anybody asks me any questions about radio, I'm more than willing to help them out, explain whatever I can to them, try to bring new people in. The more people, the better. More people to talk to and keep the hobby alive, and more people buying equipment, and the manufacturers will come out with new gear and keep updating things, and things keep progressing. Otherwise, I think it probably will get stagnant and kind of fall to the wayside. And, you know, if we're not out here on the band, somebody's going to want to take them, use them for something else. So let's keep on the air, and hopefully we'll get some new people in here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, the next generation of operators is really key for us. And, you know, that does keep the hobby going. It does make the manufacturers look at producing new products and so forth. So, again, you know, at least in the world I deal with here, which is a lot of you guys and other people that stop in from night to night, you know, it's a great community, a great hobby. And that's one thing and the reason why I stay here on 40 meters is some of the best operators I've dealt with the entire world are right here on 40. They're very good operators. They handle themselves well. They have great signals. You don't get this jumping over and you know, nonsense and so forth. I believe everybody's been very respectful. We try to do that as well. We try to be respectful of everybody's time and so forth, and it's worked out pretty well. So we're going to continue doing this, and you know, I think others will have a chance to stop in as well. Hey, Justin, thanks again. I wasn't trying to give you bad news. Go back and listen to the you know, the audio yourself and see where it's at. The one thing I will say, I mean, it's very crystal clear. I mean, it's not garbled, it's not fuzzy, it's not down in the dungeon kind of thing. It's very clear. But again, you come back anytime. You're always welcome, and we'll just keep doing what we're doing until you're satisfied, and go from there. So, thanks for hitting the back door, and I appreciate you hanging in there with me. And I'm glad we got a chance to talk tonight. I felt bad if you'd have let me know later and said you couldn't get in, but I'm glad we got it worked this time. Hey, enjoy what's left tonight. Hopefully you don't have any bad weather. I always tell people, just keep your head down, keep moving forward, and we'll all get through it. 7-3s, we'll talk again, I have no doubt. Kilo Yankee 4 Juliet Radio, Kilowatt 0 Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you, Justin. Have a good one.
All right, Randy, I'll say 7-3. I know you may have a few more out there that want to try, and I'll make another adjustment. And like I said, I'm glad you're here. Any feedback is good feedback, and I don't know till I try. And we'll try you again later on. 7-3, and thank you for the QSO. K0RWB, this is KY4JR. Clear it off.
All right, Justin, take care. 7-3s. We've got just about 10 more minutes, bottom of the hour, and then we'll be shutting down. We don't have any more quarters in the machine. We'll see if we can take a few more calls here. Kilowatt 0 Radio Whiskey Bravo, Randy in Kansas City, QRZ. Any other stations, please?
Whiskey 4 Radio Hotel Mike.
Well, that was an easy one to get. Whiskey 4 Radio Hotel Mike. Good evening. Thanks for giving us a call there. Go ahead.
Good evening. I thought the last I had heard, they postponed that jamboree, but I'm glad to hear that it's back on. You know, I've been off the air a few years. My name is Rich, but I used to go and work the jamboree, you know, and try to give the boys as many contacts as possible. So, yeah, no, that's great. I'm glad to hear that it's back on. I'm in North Carolina, where we're having some pretty nice weather right now. 75, 80 degrees is a high, and cool evenings in the low to mid 60s. So not too bad here. That's all I got. I just wanted to say good evening. I've been listening for a while, and I think that's a great thing. You know, many years ago I tried to put some stuff online, and I did, but I think I was before my time. So anyway, nice to hear you in there. I think it's a wonderful 80 Whiskey 4 Romeo Hotel Mike. Over to you, sir.
Well, thank you, Rich, and thank you for taking the time to stop in and say hi. Appreciate it very much. I hope it's still on. Again, I talked. We had an operator that checked in with us Monday evening, named Richard, and we talked briefly on the air. He mentioned it to me, and I said, yeah, I'd be interested in trying to help. And we exchanged emails, and we had a phone call conversation this morning. We talked further about it, and at least I know for what they're doing in their area there in Tennessee, they're going to be looking at going on the air around 10 o'clock Central Time on different bands. They're going to have several different operators with equipment. Hopefully, and this is the key, of course, we hope that the bands will be open and the scouts will have opportunities to make some contacts. But again, I think it's a really great venture that they're doing, and it's nice that the scouts get some exposure to amateur radio, and I think all of us can play a part in that. Roger?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's a great thing. And thanks for putting out the word to everybody. I know the scouts certainly appreciate that. And I do too. All righty. Well, very nice to meet you. I won't hold you. I know there's lots of other guys. You said you were in St. Louis?
Well, I'm in Missouri, but I'm on the west side. I'm 35 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. We're right here on the I-70 corridor, about a mile north of the highway. We like to say that we're on the right side. We're not on the Kansas side. We're on the right side there, Rich. Go ahead.
Very good. Okay, yeah. I knew some people out that way anyway, so I haven't talked to them in a while. But, yeah, and I had lots of friends, their children and grandchildren went to school out there. Hey, very nice to meet you. Very nice to work with you. I'll say 7-3. I'll let you tie the ribbon on it. Thanks for picking me up. I do appreciate it, Roger.
No problem at all. We do thank you for taking the time here to give us a call this evening. We do try to be out here on a regular basis in the evenings. We usually try to start around 7 o'clock Central Time. We got a little bit of a heads up this evening, so we started a little bit earlier. So we're good till the bottom of the hour. We don't have any more quarters to put in the machine, so she'll just kind of shut down on her own, I guess. But we try to do a little bit while we can. So if you hear us again, by all means, give us a call back. We'll just kind of pick it up where we left off. And like I said, if you have a chance this weekend to hear and get a chance to work the scouts, I think it's a great thing, and I'm sure they're going to enjoy it as well. So thanks again. Enjoy the rest of what's left of your Wednesday evening. And if you hear us again, give us a call, and we'll just pick it up where we left off. Thank you, Rich, for sure. Whiskey 4 Radio Hotel Mike. This is Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo. Thank you again. Okay, QRZ, we've got a couple more minutes yet. Any other stations? K0, RWB, QRZ. Was it a Kilo 3 station?
Kilo 3, Delta, Mike.
Kilo 3, Delta, Mike. Now, why is that call sign familiar?
I may have talked to you before. I don't know. Over.
Well, I'm kind of wondering. I mean, you've got a call that people would not very seldom forget, and I know you did that on purpose. Well, I'm trying to see. You know, I looked on my log, and it doesn't show a contact, but that's really odd. That I guess you've got a call that nobody forgets.
Well, I appreciate that. Good evening. The name here is Denny, Delta Echo, November Yankee, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, capital of the Commonwealth. Over.
Okay, fine business. Well, you're the first one into Pennsylvania tonight, and you know, like usual, the band has been up and down. It's been really good for a while. It's faded away. It's come back again. Old Marlon here on the chat said I was good for the longest time, but now you can't hear me, so the band is kind of moving around. But, you know, we work them when we hear them, and hopefully the band's in our favor there, Roger.
Roger that. I had been listening to some of your QSOs there. Found it very November 8th. You're also doing a live feed, so I will definitely check that out. I'll be going to your QRZ page and definitely.
Yeah, the frequencies in use. Yeah, no problem, Denny. Yeah, we've been doing this. I looked today. I think around the end of January is about when we started with the live stream, with a lot of help with a different lot of operators, and one being Alex Whiskey 7 Hotel Uniform down by Miami, Florida. It has just been a great time. I will say this. I'm really having fun with it. I have enjoyed it. I think others have as well. I think people are getting something out of it. Nobody wants to watch me on the live stream. I get that part, but we had an extra camera that's got to point somewhere. But anyway, the whole idea of doing this, Denny, is for people to stop in and say hi, share a story, information, pass it along, whatever. And I think that's kind of what we all like to do. And so far, it's been really a lot of fun and pretty successful there, Roger.
Oh, Roger that. Well, that sounds great. I would consider myself to be a relatively new amateur operator. Just passed my technician level test just a little over a year ago, August of 2020, and then was able to upgrade to the general class this past February. So again, I'm just barely scratching the surface. Over.
Yeah, you know, it's no different than any of us. We all have to start someplace, and you just kind of move up from there. Hopefully, you've got some resources around you, an Elmer or something that can help. And that was very, very beneficial for me when I first started. I was very fortunate to have what I'd like to consider a very, very good Elmer, and I'd like to think that I'm still doing some of the things that he said I should do, and not do some of the things I shouldn't do. We do try to be a very good steward of amateur radio, and I think we try to promote that as much as possible. But still, the whole idea of this is just to have some fun, make some contacts, and and just let the thing go where it goes. There, Roger.
Oh, Roger that. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I consider myself to be a talker, so I do enjoy making the audio contacts. Haven't ventured into the digital world yet, but eventually that may come. But I'm very pleased and thrilled to be doing what I'm doing. Over.
Yeah, again, and that's the nice thing about 40 meters is you can be very successful on 40 meters with very, very little equipment. 100 watts on a wire. Or what have you. I've got your page pulled up. By the way, thank you for your service in the Air Force. Spent a little time there myself. I see you've got a 7300, and you're running a Comet. I mean, you can't ask for more than that. It works, and that's all you can really ask for, Roger.
Roger that. And again, I do live in a home association there, homeowners association. So I'm limited as to what I can deal with. But I did a lot of homework there on the Comet. And for my needs, it's just working great. I've made some DX contacts that I thought I'd never be able to make. Over.
Yeah, that's great, and it's a lot of fun to do that. Well, I will say this: you've got the right radio, and you've also got the right radio for FT8. If you haven't gone to ICOM's website and downloaded their latest firmware, you should, because it already has a built-in function that you go right to FT8, and very, very simple to use. And I don't do a lot of it. I can't sit and do FT8 hours on end, but I do a little bit here and there, and it can be a lot of fun. And it's great what ICOM did to get an FT8 setting already dialed into the firmware on the 7300. You should take a look at that if you haven't done it already. Yeah, no problem. Hey, tell me real quick, what'd you do in the Air Force?
in the medical field as a medical technician, and then later went into special assignment, special duty, and I held a variety of different positions in Air Force recruiting service. Over.
Okay, fine business. Enlisted or officer?
Enlisted.
Oh, I like you already. Well, myself and my wife both served. She was a chaplain's assistant, and I worked for security police. So there was always chapels and cops at every base. So we usually got a joint spouse everywhere we went there, Roger.
Roger that. And during my days as a recruiter, I always used to tell my recruits that after they joined the Air Force, there were 4 groups of people that they never wanted to get on their bad side: cops, cooks, medics, and accounting and finance. Over.
Yes, and also CBPO, if you remember those days. That was another one that we like to add. You never want to mess with anybody who can deal with your paperwork.
Roger that. Well, I call my claim to fame the fact that during my recruiting career, I was hand-selected and did 3 years as an Air Force recruiter in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Oh, shame on you. I know you felt terrible. So were you at Wheeler or Hickam?
I lived on Hickam, but my office was actually downtown behind the Ala Moana Mall, and I was responsible for an area on Oahu and also responsible for 3 other islands. Over.
Yeah, and I'll bet the numbers you had were probably quite small compared to other recruiters.
Well, you'd be surprised. At the time, there were still a lot of people from the islands there actually joining the Air Force, and my office partner and I were actually quite successful there. And I was there from 1983 to 1986.
Okay, well, that's good. Yeah, I entered in '83 and left in 2017. I figured that was enough time.
Oh my goodness! So you retired?
Yeah, 33 years.
Oh, outstanding. Well, I did 20 years and 11 days. Left very, very happily and went into another career, and now have totally retired for some time and just enjoying life. Over.
That's the way it should be. It really should. I was fortunate that I got to work with some of the finest people in the world, and they also worked in the Air Force. And when it was time to go, it was just time to go. So we went. And there are days we do miss it, of course, and we'd like to see if the uniform fits. It does not, but that's okay. It's the way it goes. So, Denny, we've run past our time here. On my time, not your time. But I got a tap on the shoulder. Here's the sequence. You get 1 tap on the shoulder, 2 taps on the shoulder, and the third one's a slap upside the head. I don't recommend that, so we know our time is short and we don't have any quarters for the machine. However, we're going to leave you as the last contact of the evening because we're going to try to do this again tomorrow night. So feel free to come back anytime you hear us. The other thing I tell people, if you'd like to know when we're out here, when we're here in the evenings, Denny, we're generally live on YouTube. So if you go to the channel, which is my call sign, and you go to the little notification bell, you click on that. Whenever we go live on YouTube, you'll get the notification, and then you can see from there what frequency we're on. We're going to be here on 40 meters, where we don't know. Feel free to come back anytime. I'm sure there's some more stories we can tell, and I look forward to it. But thank you tonight for the first one. I hope there's many more to come. Again, there's a jamboree for the Scouts going on this weekend starting at 10 o'clock Central in the Tennessee area. So if you happen to be out on the radios and you happen to hear the Scouts, answer the call or call out to them. I know they'd appreciate it. So we'll say 7-3 tonight. Thank you so much, and we look for you again. Kilo 3, Delta Mike, Kilowatt 0, Radio Whiskey Bravo, 7-3s.
Roger that, Randy. It has been a pleasure, absolute pleasure, and I certainly look forward to contacting you again, and already got you loaded in the log on QRZ. So 73, my best to you always.
Okay, take care, my friend. 7-3s. That's Kilowatt Zero Radio Whiskey Bravo. We'll shut down for the evening. Thank you for everybody who was out there on the live stream and on the chat as well. We'll